Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another very special Out of the Fast Lane podcast. I am your host, Brady Hauser. On today's show, we have a Nascar Gander Outdoors Truck Series, which I think is now Camping World, if I'm correct. Series driver. He actually won Talladega last year, if any of you guys watched that race. He drove for Kyle Busch last year, and this year he's moved over to GMS Racing. And he is the driver of number 4 last year. This year he'll be in the number 24. And his name is Raphael Lessard. So, Raphael, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, looking into Daytona, what's so exciting for you to get the season started going back up?
I'm really excited for the new opportunity. It's a new opportunity for me, for GMS Racing, being with Chevrolet for the first year. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just really excited to work with my team. They all seem pretty happy to be working with me. My crew chief, Chad Walter, seems like he's... I'm excited, and hopefully we can have a lot of speed this year and get some more wins. I would love to get a couple wins this year. That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to Daytona, and Daytona's prestige to every driver. Just out of curiosity, what's that like for you as a driver getting to race at the World Center of Racing?
It's... At first I said it's a dream come true last year, I would say, just to drive in there at Daytona, but right now it's my second time there, and we're going for a championship, so it's for sure really special the first time you drive around the place, and probably the first time I'm gonna get to practice this year there. The first couple of laps is gonna be special, but then you're so focused and you're so in your mindset that all you want to do is win, that sometimes you don't think about all that stuff, and that you're actually racing at Daytona because you're so focused. But yeah, it's really special, and I'm just really happy to be part of that.
Mm-hmm. So you made the switch over from Kyle Busch Motorsports, and then you moved on. You're now in GMS Racing. What was that switch like for you as a driver?
It's been quite different. It's all new people around me, new manufacturer with Chevrolet. I've had the last 5 years I've been with Toyota, and it's been pretty good. I'm happy with what I've done with them, and now I needed to move on and just find a better place for maybe my future. And looking ahead at the next couple of years, I feel like Chevrolet was a great place to be for me, and they've been on a good momentum the last few years, especially.
Hold on.
I'm really excited to be with one of that team, and with GMS. They have a really fast truck. They had last year a really fast truck, so it should be really good this year too.
Mm-hmm. So last year you were fortunate enough to win the Talladega race. What was that like? What was that moment like for you as a driver, getting to experience your first career win at a facility like Talladega?
Shake and bake. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a dream come true. That's my rookie year. I wanted to get a win. That's always was my goal, and to get better as the season went on. It was pretty particular with no practice, no qualify, and like the beginning of the year, Las Vegas was my first mile and a half, so I didn't have much experience on those racetracks, on those bigger tracks with the draft, the aero style of racing. And Talladega was it was a pretty tough season. There was some up and down, and Talladega was one I think first win, and to prove a lot of people that belong in the series. That was pretty fun, and I'm just really happy to be part of the Camping World Truck Series winner now.
Mm-hmm. So getting the lead that last lap. What was that like? How was the intensity for you as a driver going down the back straightaway, knowing you're out front, but you got all these guys right behind you, that could move all over the place just to get around you. What was the intensity and what was going through your mind on that last lap?
Well, I was.
Hold on, we're having a little.
You're so close to a victory. I was second at some point, leading at some point, and my mindset was, if I lift, it's because I'm in trouble. But I'm not lifting. I'm just as fast as I can, and I'm gonna try to hold on to it. And I was kind of looking in my mirror, and I was like, come on, push me. I need a good push. And Ben Road gave me a heck of a push. I mean, I don't think my wheels were touching the ground. At some point, I was all over the place and just trying to keep it straight. It's pretty hard on those racetracks to keep it straight in the draft like that. But I was just, yeah, that's what I told myself. It's a not snap, I'm not lifting.
Hold on,
Because we wrecked.
hold on. I'm sorry. I apologize. We're having a little technical difficulties. Hold on 1 second. You're kind of like in and out. So let's just let that beat up for a minute. All right. I think we're good. All right. So new season, new car owner. But people I always want to know, what got you really started into racing? Was there a certain person, or was there just a background of racing, always being a fan? What got you started into racing?
I mean, I've always been a fan of racing. My dad used to race. It was mostly just for as a hobby. It was during the summer, we would race cars in the Sportsman Series back in Canada, always just for fun, but I would always follow my dad. My dad owns a trucking company, FR Express, and I've always been around the big trucks, driving the trucks around the yard at 9 years old by myself. It all started young, you know.
Hold on, we have a little technical issue. Please. Hold on,
Yeah,
I lost you for a minute. You were talking about how you were driving trucks into a lawn in your backyard?
okay.
Yep.
I don't know if it's my connection that is bad or.
Well, it's probably the distance. We're quite a distance away from each other. I'm in New York.
Okay.
You're in Canada. All right, back to what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, my dad owned a trucking company when I was still do FR Express, and I've always been driving the big truck around the yard. At 9 years old, I started driving those trucks, moving the trailers and back and forth. Driving snowmobile, four-wheeler, dirt bike. I mean, it was, and I always enjoy going fast. When I was with my dad, usually on a snowmobile or on a race car, he was always super fast. So that's what I wanted to do.
Okay. So you also, for a while, you were in the Pinty series. What was for me? I don't really have background on what the Pinty series is. So could you tell me what the Pinty series is and how that I know it's NASCAR affiliated, but what is the Pinty series for people that may not know, like myself?
The Pinty series, I only ran 2 races in 2019. Won my first one, but I've always followed the Pinty series since I was young because it was all over Canada, and that's where I grew up, and they would come to my local short track every year. But the Pinty series is like NASCAR Canada, they call it. It's NASCAR in Canada. It's the only NASCAR series in Canada, which is most of the time it's drivers that have had a career before in like IndyCar or Truck Series, Xfinity, and are now back in their home in Canada and still wants to race. And a lot of people make a living out of racing NASCAR Canada, like Andrew Ranger, LP Dumoulin. They all make that as a living, so it's pretty cool that even in Canada, they can race and make a living out of it. But most of those guys, they're not at the peak of their career. They're usually some guys that have had an awesome career, and now they're mostly at the end of their career and just kind of still wants to race, so they race in the Pinty series most of the time. There's also Alex Labud that have been champion in that series and is now in Xfinity.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of great drivers in that series with a bunch of experience, but are just doing it for I wouldn't say for fun because they make a living out of it, but it's not guys that really wants to move up to the truck series or USA to race in the USA.
Hmm. So what you said, you mentioned that they came to your local racetrack in Canada. Where is your local racetrack and what's it called?
It's called Autodrome Chaudière. It's in Valley Junction, close to Quebec. That's where I started racing at 11 years old. It's 5 minutes from my house, and I always enjoy racing there. It's one of my favorite racetrack still to this day. It's a quarter mile, but it's progressive banking, so you can run the top as high as you want, or the bottom. So it's a lot of fun, and it makes it good racing.
Hmm. So this year, with halfway through, well, actually last year now, but last year halfway through this, not even halfway through the season, it was like actually the first couple of weeks of the racing season, everything shut down and everything went to iRacing and all that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But when you guys came back into the racing, no fans in the stands. What was that like for you racing without any fans in the stands?
I was The atmosphere was so different. Once you when you're walking on pit road and doing driver intros with the fans, it gets you pumped up. It gets you ready because you see all the fans screaming and just happy to be there and that are cheering for us. So that's always fun. But especially when some of your family are in the stand, that's always a plus. But once everything shut down, you couldn't be there. The fans couldn't be at the racetrack, and when I won Talladega, I wish my family could have been there, but nobody was there, and beside my girlfriend, and nobody was in the stand. So when you win and nobody's in the stand to cheer you on, it's a lot different. It's not the way you want to win. You want to win and celebrate it with the fans as much as you can when you get out of the truck.
Hmm. So, do you have a favorite track out of all the tracks that you've raced at? It doesn't have to be NASCAR related; like it could be a local track. But do you have a favorite track you've gotten to race at?
Usually it's the next one I go to, but because I'm just so focused on the next one. But last year I really enjoyed Darlington. It was my first time going there. It was pretty aggressive on tire, really aggressive on tire. It would wear out the tire really bad, and you would get to a point where you're sliding around and just looking for grip. And once I s- it's the first time that I really figured out how to run close to the fence and feel the air bubble, and it was just an awesome feeling running there. I love that place. I really enjoy also racing at Bristol. Bristol was I won there in Super Late, and it's always been one of my favorite racetracks. Anderson, Indiana. I won the Red Bull 400 there, and it's a quarter mile, high bank, and it's really everything happens super quick there. So it's a lot of fun. There's so many racetrack out there that are fun, and usually every time you get it in a race car, you're having some fun.
Okay, so you mentioned Red Bluff, right? Is that the track?
Yeah.
Is that the track in Oregon, or the California track?
No, the Red Bull 400 was at Anderson, Indiana.
Anderson, Indiana. Okay, because I interviewed somebody by the name of Tanner Holmes. You may have heard of him. He talked about Red Bluff a lot, and that's kind of I was kind of thinking because it's like a quarter midget track. So I was just curious.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I just noticed over the weekend actually that your teammates Zane Smith, Chase Purdy, not Brett Moffitt. Who's the other two teammates? Trying to.
There's Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed, the champion Sheldon Creed. Yeah. So you guys all this past weekend were actually testing a UMP modified. What is there a little like something going on? Like are you guys gonna be running UMP somewhere, or is it just testing, getting ready for Bristol and Knoxville coming up?
It's pretty much to get ready for Bristol and Knoxville, because me, Zane, Tyler, and Chase, we don't have any dirt experience, dirt background. So GMS and Chevrolet wanted us to have a chance to win at Bristol and Knoxville. So they wanted us to get used to the dirt and finding the grip and running different line and just getting used to throwing it in the corner sideways. That was a lot of fun. I had so much fun. I mean, it's always something that I enjoyed watching dirt race. So just to do it, it was something that I would like to do more and more and try to get better at.
Mm-hmm. So did you, like you mentioned that it was your first time in a dirt car? Did you? Not like your first time, but did you get to race like any dirt tracks when you were a little bit younger at any chance, or did you race dirt before you got into the asphalt world, or?
No, so I first started on asphalt, and then like 3 years ago, I got the chance to test the dirt car one afternoon back in Quebec, and I had so much fun, and we were actually pretty fast, but it was just to test one day because I knew the owner of the car, and he let me drive it for the afternoon. And now this past weekend, we went back on dirt with the UMP Modify, or drive a little bit different than what I did drive in the past, but I got used to it pretty quick, and it wasn't the UMP Modify, exactly a UMP Modify, because it was a crate engine, the 602 engine, so it's a lot less horsepower.
Yeah.
It was still a blast, and I would love to try the UMP Modify with like 800 horsepower at some point.
Mm-hmm. So that's actually pretty funny that we were talking about the dirt thing. This is how actually I got connected with you. I actually, because of the iRacing, I know you love iRacing because I've caught you in many servers. You started racing big block modifieds. Now, if that's my neck of the woods, that's what our weekly division is. What are your thoughts on the big block modifieds?
I love the big block modified. I mean, in Quebec, Canada, we raced a bunch of those cars. We raced the 358 Modify, also and they had a class where they call it the Sportsman Series, which is like a crate engine.
Crate Sportsman, yeah.
And that's what I actually tested one time. It's just like a big block Modify, but with a crate engine in it. That's what I tested one afternoon. And I really enjoy those cars. You see both front tires, you're sitting right in the middle, so it's a lot different, but I really enjoyed it, and I want to try those one day, the big block Modify in real life. It's always fun, so now when I saw it was coming out on iRacing, I'm just, when I want to have some fun, I just go out there and just play around with those big block Modify.
Mm-hmm. I remember you and me raced. We got in a race last week that was what was it? It was 1X DQ. You literally, because the first turn.
Yeah.
That was
awful. That was terrible. I was like watching, I think something in my computer. Like I was trying to click on something while I was driving, and then I kind of got loose, and then I came down a little bit the racetrack, and the other guy just got into me, and we got kicked out. But,
yeah.
I mean, some people take it. It was a host race, and
I was in that race.
Host race, you can have some fun, but some people take it very seriously.
Yeah, I was in your race. I don't know. You might have seen my name in there.
I saw you.
I was racing in there with you. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure you're probably familiar with Granby and.
I just lost you.
You did?
Your voice.
Got me?
I can't hear you for some reason.
Hold on 1 second, guys.
Is your sound disconnected or?
Hold on. Can you hear me? You hear me? Hold on 1 second. We have a little technical difficulties. Remind you, he is in Canada. I am in New York, so
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna recall him and get that back. That'll be a lot easier. Maybe this will work. Got me?
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason the sound cut off, so I don't know.
It's probably something with like I said, probably the distance being that you're in Canada and I'm in New York. It's a little ways away. So back to what we were saying. I'm sure you're probably familiar with Autodrome Granby and Drummond by any chance.
Yeah, I love those places. I think I haven't got the chance to go watch in person, but I always watch videos from there, and I don't live that far from there when I'm in Canada.
Because the big block modified dirt car series actually goes there every year. I don't know if they're going this year because of the restrictions, but usually they go every year. And I've seen Granby and Drummond both, and it seems like it's a pretty good a couple little dirt tracks right there in Canada.
Yeah, and has that rate every week, so it's pretty cool.
Okay. This is a fun question. If you could race against any driver, past or present, right now, no, don't get me wrong. I think it's pretty cool for you right now. You're racing with some of the best, anyways, right now in the truck series. But if you could race against any driver, past or present, who would it be and why?
Damn. There's so much driver that are good and I would like to race against. I would say it's either Dan Arnold or Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, those are two of the probably the most all-time icons in NASCAR. So I could, for sure.
I'm lucky enough to race against really good guys in the past, like Kyle Busch and all those guys. But if I would go back in time, it's probably Dan Earnhardt, and I just would like to see him drive in person. I heard he was so good, so I've seen some videos a little bit, but I would have loved to see him in person or race against him. And Jeff Gordon, I've always been a huge fan of his growing up, the 24 car. Luckily, I get to drive the 24 truck this year, so that's pretty cool. But I've always been a huge fan. He got in NASCAR with Dan Earnhardt, and he was so much younger.
Oh, I lost you. Hold on.
Was like, he wasn't.
I lost you. You said something about him being so much younger. Yeah, it's all good. You're not the first person that's had these technical issues. It's when I introduce somebody that's distanced away, it's a complete glitch fest. Back to you were saying.
Yeah. So Jeff Gordon, when he got into NASCAR, he was kind of the new kid and brought a new generation of young guys. And I feel like he wasn't intimidated by nobody, even Dan Earnhardt. So that was pretty cool. And he's been good in anything. Like he's been good with the old generation cars, and now the new generation of NASCAR. Before he retired, he still was winning races. So I've always been a fan of him.
Hold on 1 second. There you go. So I actually had the picture of you winning from I can't say that track. You winning the Pinty series, so that's pretty cool. I found that, by the way. So do you do any other hobbies besides racing, or is racing kind of a strict, just you gotta be on doing racing, or do you have any other hobbies you enjoy to do?
For sure. Well, I'm back in Canada. Well, growing up, I grew up playing hockey. I used to play hockey a lot. I played in the AAA. Like I was playing every single day. I was on the ice every single day, twice a day sometimes, playing every weekend during the winter. And it was something that I always enjoyed, and I had to stop because.
Hold on 1 second.
I always.
Your audio cut out.
Again, holy crap.
All right, we're back. Okay, it's all good. So everybody at home, I do apologize for this. You were saying hockey, AAA.
Yeah. So I was playing hockey every single day, jumping on the ice twice a day, sometime every weekend, and it's always been a part of me growing up. And now that when I go back home, I always put my skate and go play hockey. It's always been one of my hobbies that I love to do. And another one I would say is going snowmobile. That's something I love. They're so fast, so much fun. You can be outside all day and just riding those things around in the wood. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is gonna be my final question, and then we'll talk after. Hold on. Out of all the things you get to do with the NASCAR racing, wins, all that, fans, everything, what has to be the best part for you?
I would say win. You always want to win, and that's when in racing you lose more races than you win, unless you're the best. You're exceptional, but I mean, I would love to win more races than losing, but when you win, you enjoy it, and you just gotta take a moment and just enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and that's like I'm very competitive, so win, and when I finish second or when I'm not winning, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to be better and always try to see what I need to do to be able to go out and win. And I think that's what you need to do.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any questions for me?
Not really. I mean, what do you do? Do you race? Have you raced at all or?
I don't race, but I am an announcer. I announce, which is cool. I announce at the local dirt track, a couple of the local dirt tracks actually, and if I hopped in a race car, oof, good luck having the car back in one piece. I probably wouldn't be, it probably wouldn't be good. So I don't think. I mean, as much as I would like to, I don't think it would be good. So I'm gonna stick away from hopping inside of a race car, and I'd rather be behind the microphone and doing podcasts and interviewing. Like I'll be in Volusia next week. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're gonna be playing. We'll talk about that afterwards. Speaking of, this is my final interview before we leave for Volusia, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But yeah. So for me, doing interviews, meeting new people, getting to do connections and do interviews with the NASCAR people as yourself, it's really been cool for me getting to do that. I didn't think I would ever do something like that, so that's kind of where it's kind of where I've gotten like my niche. Like everybody's got that one thing that everybody knows them from. For you, it's racing and winning at Talladega. Everybody's gonna remember you as that. Me right now, it's just the podcasting and making. For me, it's just getting a smile on somebody's face that wants to watch something involved in racing. That's all I wanted to do, and that's what I got to do. And yeah,
that's awesome. It takes some people like you to make those things possible. And there's always some people and some fans that want to know more about driver or racetrack, or when you're sitting in the stand and the announcer is good. That helps a lot to bring more fans to the racetrack.
yeah, because without the announcer, it's kind of a. I mean, if you have think about it, you have no announcer. Racetrack ain't gonna survive. You gotta have some kind of personality that can call the racing action, or if there's a wreck or something, somebody that can really get into it, saying, "Oh, trouble over in turn 1" or something like that. You gotta get somebody. I have a catchphrase that started because of that. Because of a wreck that happened over in turn 4 at the racetrack I was announcing at, and everybody's been calling me ever since I started announcing. So I personally am okay with it, and I think it's just without an announcer at a racetrack, you can't have a racetrack. That's something you must have.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. Where is that racetrack actually? And is that a dirt racetrack?
It is dirt racing. Pretty much all the tracks over here in New York are mainly dirt racing. We have like 2 or 3, but mainly a lot of the asphalt tracks are over New Hampshire, Connecticut, Stafford Speedway, stuff like that. It's Fonda Speedway and Glen Ridge. I don't announce full time at Fonda. I only announce like if I'm there. I'm friends with the announcer there. He lets me come up in the microphone. Honda Speedway actually held the NASCAR race back in the 50s. But he'll let me come and announce on the microphone. But Glenridge Motorsports Park, which is a small quarter mile over, it's near, I don't know, Stuart Friesen. You might know Stuart.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's near where he lives, which is Glen, New York. And it's like 10 minutes from his place. I announce over there full time, so that's where I mainly announce. But I think Stuart's definitely he's gotten his name well known in our area. He's been track champion at Fonda numerous times, which is pretty cool to have. For even like you to have this thing as a kid's aspect, getting to have a NASCAR driver racing at their local racetrack is pretty awesome, if you ask me. So Stewart's gotten his name well known at our local racetrack, so it's pretty cool to have somebody like that in our racing area, and just getting to, and even for me announcing at, and Glenridge is not the biggest racetrack. It's not no super dirt week mile, something like that. It's just a tiny dirt track, but it gets a lot of people in there, and people love to go watch racing, and that's just kind of where I've got my name really known right now, is through that and then the podcast. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool because it all gotta start somewhere. Like I started in Valley Junction and other junctions here back home, and it's a small racetrack, but it's an awesome place. They rebuilt the old grandstand, so it's all brand new, and you got place to park campers. It's really nice. I mean, it's one of the nicest facility in the short track racing. Somewhere, like you said, someday if I make it in the Cup Series, I hope I can come and race it at every short track I can go to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there's a couple. We had Kenny Wallace come up and race in our local area. Kenny Wallace came and raced a modified. So you never know, if you get in touch with a big block guy, you never know. They might say, we got a big 200 lapper coming up in a couple of weeks. Do you want to ride? I wouldn't mind seeing you come and race a big block in real life and see what you can do. It might be pretty cool.
It would be awesome. I would love to. I mean, dirt racing is something I want to get better at. I want anything and be good. So you gotta start somewhere, and at one point I'm gonna have to do one race in the dirt and see if I can figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you got Knoxville and Bristol, so yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Any sponsors, people you want to give a shout out? Mike's yours.
Yeah. For sure, Connect. Connect is always on board with me this year. It's been there last year. We won at Talladega together, so they'll be on board at Daytona again this year. There's also Richelieu, and there's hopefully a couple more coming. But I can't say right now. But we're under negotiation with a bunch, and it's pretty positive. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I think we should be able to announce some more in the always the group of investors behind me that have been helping me since the beginning. My parents, FR Express, my dad trucking company. So there's a lot of people that I probably forget, but thanks to all of them.
All right, so I got your paint pulled up. Hold on one second. Shout out to Tyler834 for the video. I have your paint pulled up for 2021. This is his 2021 paint scheme, and he mentioned the number 24, new ride for him this year. There is his 2021 paint for the truck series. Raphael, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show today, but it's my pleasure to interview you. We'll talk after a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Raphael Lessard. Make sure you guys watch the truck race in a couple weeks. You might see this kid in Victory Lane. Never know. He's gotten a win in a restrictor plate before, so restrictor plates might be this might be his chance to get it. I think this year is definitely going to be a chance for you to really take off for you as a driver. So I'm looking forward to see how you do this season. like I said, thanks again for coming on the show. If you like seeing content like this, like I said, we are going to Florida in 5 days, so I'll be down there, and I'll talk to you. I guess I'll talk to you about that afterwards. We might meet up with Raphael. You never know. You might actually get to see him live on the channel with me. But Volusia is coming up. The Dirt Car Nationals, World Outlaws, all gonna be there. I'm gonna be getting interviews. I actually got a little project I'm gonna be working on for YouTube. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And if you're new, make sure you guys you can't comment because YouTube. I figured that out. Everybody was complaining that you can't comment. I figured out something with the child. It's a child protection services that don't allow people to comment on videos with like kids that are a little bit younger. So that's why people can't comment. And you can click the notification bell. You can like the video, but you cannot comment because of that reason. Not my fault. But if you do want to comment, I will be posting a link on Facebook. I'm sure I'll send it to you afterwards, Raphael. So if you guys want to give him a like, go over to his page as well. I'd love the support. So if you guys want to leave a comment on my Instagram or something like that, feel free. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We will be looking forward to Volusia just next week. So make sure you guys stay tuned. My goal is to try to get a hold of Kyle Larson down there. So if we can get a hold of Kyle Larson, you guys are not going to want to miss that interview. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And other than that, Raphael, you got anything else you want to plug or say?
No, thanks for having me on your show, and it's been a blast. And I hope you have a good trip in Volusia, and hopefully you get to talk with Kyle Larson. He's a good guy. Just go and ask him. I'm sure he'll talk to you and give you an interview, but he's really talented and he should be really fast at Volusia.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Thanks for watching too.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching. That's Raphael Lessard. I'm Brady Hauser. Hope you guys enjoyed, and take care. All right.